Hey guys, GOREbeast here. Welcome to a special Friday the 13th edition of GOREviews. Obviously, this is Friday the 13th, and it's a pretty big deal for horror fans. Not really. I mean, it's not Halloween, but the fact that it falls in October is pretty cool for horror fans, because Halloween is our sacred holiday, and it's pretty cool that we have a Friday the 13th the same month. So with that said, today I'm going to talk about some Friday the 13th related stuff. And I don't know if you can see it there, but on my shirt there's Jason's mask. I'm not going to give you the full view, but take my word for it, that's what it is. Now, in my first video, a few friends complained to me about my sunglasses that I was wearing. They said I look like a blind person. So I'm wearing my regular glasses, and it looks like I'm wearing reflective sunglasses because of the glare, so there's really no difference. But I assure you, I'm not blind. There's my eyes. Can you see them? There I am. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. But before I get to the Friday the 13th stuff, I wanted to recap something really quickly. My last episode, which I will post the link to below for you to check out. Look at my thumb. Look at that. I'm pointing with my thumb and my index finger. That's pretty cool. Brian Smith wrote a book called All Hallows Dead, which I reviewed in my last video, and it's a slasher novel. After I reviewed it, I was in contact with Brian through Facebook, and he watched the video, and he pointed out a couple things to me that I wanted to clarify. First up, I had said that the slasher in the film, the killer, seemed to have some extra kills that didn't really make sense, and that was an error on my part because it clearly states in the book that he's trying to reach a kill count goal leading up to Halloween, the day of Halloween. He's trying to reach a certain number. So it's a revenge novel, and he's trying to get revenge on people, but he has to kill some other people to get to his number. And I apologize for that. He also pointed out that there's a section in the book that takes place at a cabin in the woods where the killer basically gets himself invited through nefarious means, and you should read the book to find that out. It's not, it's pretty cool. And he goes on a kill spree at this cabin in the woods. A direct Friday the 13th homage. Come on. Why didn't I point that out? I'm putting it out now because today is Friday the 13th, and it's very appropriate. Also, the last thing he pointed out to me was the names of the kids in the cabin are named after actors who portrayed characters in Friday the 13th. That's pretty cool, and I did not pick that up, and I pretty much kicked myself for that. I should have noticed that. So again, thank you, Brian, for getting back to me, reaching out, and seeing my review, and giving these little tidbits and letting me share them with the viewers. Thanks again, Brian. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is this box set of Friday the 13th. This Steelbook box set, and I have a ding there, and I don't know how that happened, and I'm kind of agitated that that exists. I believe this box set is out of print. You can only get it secondhand, and I think it's $300+ starting out. So I'm glad I snagged this when it came out. This is the definitive box set of Friday the 13th on Blu-ray. All the films on Blu-ray. The only gripe is with Jason Goes to Hell, it only has the R-rated cut on the physical disc. But it does come with a digital download for the unrated cut. I believe it's on one of those movie apps, Vudu or something like that. I can't remember which, but if you have the box set. So you can watch the unrated cut digitally. So they did make up for it. It's not ideal, but there it is. This box set is a must-have for Friday the 13th fans. I am an obsessed fan, have been since I was a kid. When I was very young, The first Friday the 13th was airing on television, network television. We didn't have cable when I was a kid. And I begged my parents to let me watch it, and they obliged. However, when it got to the scene, spoiler alert, when the killer, who is not Jason in the original film, is chasing one of the counselors through the woods, she was hitchhiking, and she hitchhiked with the killer, and again gets freaked out and jumps out of the Jeep and is running through the woods. The killer's chasing her. She leans up against a tree, and the killer slashes her throat. And at that moment, as a child, maybe 10 or 11 at the time, I'm not positive, I exclaimed, "Cool!" And my parents promptly made me turn the channel. I had a older cousin who used to describe the movies to me. I think I'd seen a couple trailers because they were, coming out at that time, and I'd seen a trailer or two, so I knew what Jason kind of looked like, but he would describe them to me, and I lived in a heavily wooded area. My house was completely surrounded by woods when I was a kid, and it was terrifying before I had even actually seen a full film. Then I used to rent them from a video store when I was a couple years after that first incident, when I was exclaiming "cool" when someone got their throat sliced. That should tell you a little about me right there. I would rent them obsessively, watch them all the time, and was so happy when they finally came out in a beautiful box set. This box set is gorgeous. If you can get your hands on it, do it. It's worth it. I don't know if it's worth paying that much money for, but maybe. Now, the second item up for discussion is this little documentary called Crystal Lake Memories, an exhaustive 7.5 hour long documentary covering all the films all the way up through the remake, which is not as bad as people say. It's not my favorite film by far, but there are one or two of the films in the series that I like less, believe it or not. They talk to everyone in this documentary, everyone involved with the project, directors, actors, gore effects people, set dressers, fans, everybody, producers. They cover every film, and it's just a must-have for a fan. Now, this is relatively cheap. You can get it on Amazon. I believe I think right now it's around like $15. I believe it used to come with an additional disc which had like extended interviews and such. I don't think it comes with that anymore, but that's not a deal breaker, really. It's cool to have, but not necessary. And the last thing I want to talk about here is this little number, also entitled Crystal Lake Memories, with a foreword by Sean Cunningham, and the author is Peter M. Brack, or Bracky. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Gorgeous book, big old coffee table book. It's heavy. There is a digital version available that has additional content not in the physical book, but I wanted the physical book. It's, this on my bookshelf here. Come on. It's beautiful. I'm not a big digital book guy anyway. I'm more of a collector, physical. I want to see it on my bookshelf. This book has lots and lots of pictures, behind the scenes stuff, and I'm not going to open it up and show you because, copyright. I could get in trouble for that, I guess. I'm not sure how copyright laws work. This is a gorgeous book, and if you are a fan of coffee table books, which I am, got to get it. I believe it's relatively affordable, and I think I bought it for $30 or $35. It was on sale. I don't know what it's going for now. You should pick it up if it's still in print. It may be more expensive now. Totally worth it. Pick it up. So with all that being said, happy Friday the 13th. I am GOREbeast. This is GOREviews. Please, please, if you like this video, hit the like button below. And if you would be so kind, please subscribe and share the video with your friends. maybe they'll find something interesting that they didn't know about, and it'll open new doors for them by seeing something I'm talking about. I will also post a link down below to the first video where, at the beginning of this video, I was talking about Brian Smith and the review of All Hallows Dead, and from my last video. I'll post the link there so you can see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen that video yet. Again, this is Gore Reviews. I am Gore Beast, and thanks for watching.